What up, what up, what up? Okay. What up, 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 what up? What up? Yo, what up? What up? Yo, what's going on, everybody? Yo, you gotta expect some bloopers and some blunders, y'all. We live, but we together. Guess what, y'all? We on the same coast. We in the East. We in the Big A. What's going on? It's Atlanta in the house by way of Brooklyn. We in the building. It's Brooklyn Beards and Ball Sports Show, y'all. Thank y'all for jumping on. It's been a good little minute, but we are here and we are back, and we cannot wait to talk some more sports with you guys. Before we do that, y'all already know the drill hasn't changed. Smash that like button, share, YouTube, Facebook. You know what to do already. Comment, tell us what you think of the show and yada yada. Because we here. It's been a minute now, but we did all this for y'all. Because now we in the building, me and D together. And my boy D is in the house. I'm honored.
I'm glad to be here. It has been a while. I think right after, it kind of matched up with right after the Lakers were eliminated. We couldn't get Rod anymore. He was old. He was busy. He was out of town. He couldn't do the show. We got some people to sub in for. So
I know. I was with Shannon Sharp. Me and he was hanging out.
Right.
That's what's
when
up.
when you lay your head on that pillow,
Right.
I gave it everything. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Well, as mentioned, a lot is going on. The finals are beyond. We're past the finals, and now this is the real good part. Teams need to get better.
Yep.
Denver Nuggets have already proven to be a superior team. They kind of made quick work throughout the playoffs and the finals.
Yep.
So teams now have to measure up. They got to get better. And there have been some blockbuster moves.
Yep.
Usually it's like July 1st when things start really taking off, but uncharacteristically, I don't even know if that's a word, but things have started to take off already. First big move was, let's talk about the Suns.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Somewhat disappointing. I think the trade from Brooklyn, I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. The trade from Brooklyn, our team got gutted kind of right before the playoffs started. And we lost Kyrie Irving and we lost Kevin Durant. We got a ton of picks, a ton of first-round picks for them. So, the Suns look like the team to beat. But of course, with that happening, their bench was depleted. Chris Paul was injured. There was a lot of things that was going on.
Right.
There was dissension between DeAndre Ayton, clearly, and Monty Williams. So they didn't want to coexist. But since then, Monty Williams is doing really good. He's the highest paid coach in the NBA. So he's good.
Yep.
DeAndre Ayton, I think they tried to shop him, but nobody really wants DeAndre Ayton because he put out bad work. He looked bad in the playoffs. Facts. So teams aren't going to be knocking down the door to get DeAndre Ayton. Chris Paul, there was some talk that he was going to have to take a pay cut, that they may rework his contract. They shipped Chris Paul out in the middle of the night. And Chris Paul, he was on
Good Morning America.
Good Morning America, and said he found out, kind of
on the plane.
That, he had got shipped out, and it's a business. Chris Paul has made a lot of money, but he understands that, Matt Ishbia is serious. He's a young owner, a new owner, and he wants to win now. And so understanding that it's a business, they made a big move. They got Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal he's a great scorer. So now Phoenix has a big three, and if DeAndre Ayton can get his act together, if they don't ship him out, they might have a big four.
Right.
Are they now with Booker, KD, Bradley Beal, DeAndre Ayton? Of course, they're going to have to shore up their bench to have some people, because they also shipped out some bench players. Landry Shamet is gone. So, and I think they did some pick swaps and all of this stuff because they don't have any first round picks.
Nope.
Brooklyn has all their first round picks. So with that being said, are they the favorites now? Have they improved? Have they because we got a laundry list of big moves that have been made in the last couple of days or since the finals have been decided. What do you say?
Nah, I say this. I think it's a stupid move. I think Phoenix has not gotten. They got better, obviously, with the superstardom that they put together. But the problem is you have no bench, and the model for success has changed. And I know you're gonna hate when I say this, but the Lakers and Denver, and shout out to the Nuggets, they are the champions. They have proven that the model now and the paradigm for victory is no longer in the 3-ball. It's no longer in just being able to have massive scorers. You got to have bigs and you got to have defense. And that's what it boils down to. And both those teams showed you, the Lakers, and again, I'm just saying, you look at their run, right? And because they were able to punish teams and they played great defense, it got them into the Western Conference Finals, right? And then of course Denver, obviously Denver was overmatched. I mean, they weren't overmatched; they overmatched the Heat. What I'm saying, D, is that as good as the Phoenix Suns are on paper, okay, they've got no bench. And here's the reason why Denver was good, why the Lakers went deep into the playoffs. It's because who are we talking about when we talk about the Lakers? We're talking about Reeves and Hachimura. Who are we talking about? Obviously, we're talking about Jokic and Jamal Murray. But it's the guys like Brown, it's KCP, it's
Chris Braun.
It's Braun. These are guys that make the difference when it comes to winning. Gordon, you know what I'm saying? Porter Jr., who, even though he's a starter and a high draft pick, but again, he's somebody that they developed, right? They drafted him and they built, that team was built from the ground up. And so again, when you try to take the quick route, like the bus ride that KD tries to do all the time, because of course this is his 9th super team he's already been on. So basically, you know what I'm saying? And what's disturbing is that there was reports that they even tried to reach out to Dallas about Kyrie Irving. I can't even believe that was even a thought. KD should have been like, no way, no how.
I don't think that.
Okay, I don't know if it's true or not, but But to answer your question, D, I'll just say this: no, that Phoenix has no bench. They're going to have to they have no money. There's no more room. You can't pay anybody. So they got to recruit fans, see if they want to play for free. You're going to have to get, anybody out there that want to play, you get a chance to play with KD. That's your pay. And here's the truth of the matter is, you're going to have to get veterans who want to win. You're going to have to get them on veteran minimum exceptions. And that's the only way you're going to have to build your bench out. And honestly, when you do that, because the Lakers did that when they had Russ, when they had AD, and they had LeBron. And that's when you got the Melos and all these old guys that came in on the team. And the truth of the matter is, they can't give you nothing. So no, the answer for me is I thought that was a stupid move by them. It's not going to work. And yes, you got those three guys that can score, but it's not going to work.
What made it a stupid move? You got Bradley Beal.
You had enough already. You got enough to win.
Oh, so you're saying that because first problem I have is that when we're talking about a team that other teams should model themselves after. Right. A team that got swept should not be the one that we model ourselves after.
I'm talking about their journey, though. I'm talking about the Lakers' journey.
Their journey ended in a sweep.
And guess who beat them? A big team beat another big team, which means a small team will not compete. It took two big teams because whoever was going to win that Western Conference final was going to ultimately be the
Phoenix, that didn't have a big team, didn't have a bench, had just two stars.
2 stars.
Took them to 6 games.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so all right, so there goes one huge hole in your argument. That's first off.
Okay.
So, if you want to say teams need to model after Denver to have a combination of size, shooting, and transition basketball defense, right? You have your stars in place, and then you have role players that play pivotal roles in the offense. Then yeah, but the Lakers aren't. We don't know we don't know what the Lakers are going to look like.
I mean, we don't know what the Lakers are going to look like. But what I'm saying is that when you look at the Lakers defensively and how they transcended at the midway point with the trade, they transcended into a really good defensive team, right? And they had a really good bench. So adding that to the 2 stars that they had, and then thank God for AD being healthy for the stretch run, you could see clearly that they had a model for success. That's what got them deep into the playoffs. And so all I'm saying,
they had some luck. They
luck.
played.
How was it luck?
Okay, so
what's
they first round they played dysfunction, right? So let's be honest with their path to the Western Conference Finals.
Okay, I mean that's every team.
No, well, not every team.
A lot of teams get breaks.
They played a dysfunctional team to start off. Number 2, they played the Warriors, which was solely a 3-point shooting team with no inside presence. So yeah, they did what they were supposed to do. They abused them,
right?
Because they're a better team than the Warriors,
right?
The way they were constructed,
right?
And if you live and die by the 3, more often than not, if you have an off night and you're playing a team like the Lakers, who have veterans, have good players, have good defense, you're gonna die by the 3. Right. So that happened.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have so much air in my lungs based on the Lakers' path to the Western Conference Finals. Because once Ja Morant on fast breaks was trying to dunk over 7-foot players and hurt himself, that changed the complexion of the playoffs.
But you're proving my argument here. Here's why. At the end of the day, what team won the finals? Or what kind of team won the finals?
A well-balanced team.
But a team that's not constructed the way Phoenix is trying to build their team, right? I mean, that's a team that we just said how they were born, bred, drafted, developed in that organization, and they got size, and they have defense, they have shooting, right? Mm-hmm. When you look at the guys that Phoenix has, now Frank Vogel is a defensive-minded coach, but I don't care who you are as a defensive-minded coach. You're not getting premier scorers to all of a sudden make all NBA defensive team. They're not going to make that. Right. KD ain't playing no D. Beal ain't playing D like that. Although he is known to play some D at times, but he's not a defender. He's not a stopper. He's not going to stop anybody, and neither is Booker. So my whole thing is that the way that team is trying to construct themselves, it's still not enough to beat Denver. I don't care, because right now they're still not the favorites to beat Denver.
So every team right now is trying to make the moves to be good enough to beat Denver.
You have to.
So
exactly.
Don't bring up the Lakers. That's my only problem.
Okay, but what I'm saying is,
about the Lakers?
Because I'm gonna tell you why. If the Lakers if they were to prevail against Denver, had that happened, I think they would have then beat Miami like they did in the bubble again. They would have pounced on them because of size.
A lot of stuff.
But it's the size.
If KD's toe wasn't on the line, they would have won again because they were beat. If Kyrie Irving wasn't hurt against the Bucks, we would have beat.
Well, no, but
so
I mean,
there's a lot of ifs. We can't go by ifs.
Right, but what I'm saying is, no, they got swept. No question about it. We got swept by a better team. No question. But again, to answer your question, in terms of, do you think this team? So you think Phoenix is the favorite now?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that is a big upgrade over Chris Paul. Now, granted,
yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
So
yeah,
if they took the team,
look what they lost to get that.
They didn't lose a lot. I mean, Chris Paul and Landry Shamet.
Okay, so
for Bradley Beal, who can average 25 points a game. Now, the biggest thing always for the Suns is going to be health. That is going to be the biggest thing. If they stay healthy,
yeah.
Keep in mind that Kevin Durant got there mid-season.
Right.
Then he was injured, slipped on a banana peel. He was out another 2 weeks, the rest of the regular season.
Right.
So they don't have chemistry. They didn't have chemistry. Give them chemistry. Matt Ishbia is aggressive. Let's see if he can fill out the bench properly. They may be a contender. They took the champions to 6 games with 2 players and no bench. So if you add Beal, because let's not forget the game where it just went downhill. Chris Paul, before he got injured, they were winning that game. Right. And that was the first 2 games.
Right.
They were playing in Denver.
Right.
They could have split that. It might be a different story. We can't go by what ifs. But what I'm saying is Chris Paul getting injured all the time is the only constant. That's going to happen. First round, second round, it's going to happen one way or the other.
I don't disagree with your argument on that. I agree. Did they make themselves better
by
adding Beal? Absolutely. No question about it. But when you talk about championship aspirations, I don't know. And like you said, we got to see if they're going to fill that bench out. How they're going to do it, I mean, we don't have time to unpack and maybe look at some scenarios. We'll do that in some of the subsequent shows we're going to do. And maybe we can look at some alternatives and things like that Phoenix would have. But at the end of the day, you need a bench. You need a bench too, and you need a formidable bench. You need a bench and guys who can score, that can maintain, and that can play some defense. And that's what you're going to need in order to win or get to the finals at least. And again, and I don't know if that's the case with Phoenix. And so to me, the super team, the allure of that doesn't have the same appeal anymore. It's not the same. KD still has a lot of good basketball left.
Super team, listen.
But
teams are just trying to position. We can't use. We're using super team too much. Teams are trying to position themselves to be as competitive as possible.
Right.
If that happens to bring a few, I think after this year year is going to be the last year for real super teams. Because if you see the moves that have already been made, teams are starting those big, salaries, those long-term deals. They're unloading some of those.
Yeah, of course.
Anytime,
as they should.
We'll quickly talk about the Warriors.
Right.
Speaking of Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Someone's trash could be someone else's treasure.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, they shipped him to the Wizards. It was trying to get they got a deal done.
Right.
They shipped him to the Wizards. The Wizards moved him to the Warriors.
Right.
I think the Warriors got worse.
I agree with you there. I don't disagree. Yeah, no, we're on the same page.
You get rid of,
I agree.
Let's think about the Warriors.
Right.
I think sometimes loyalty to a team or loyalty to players is, you can do that to a fault.
Right.
At some point, I understand the success of, you have a dynasty. You had a team that your 4 core players were instrumental in the success of the Warriors dynasty.
Right.
But it comes to a point where you have to kind of accept a kind of a Bill Belichick mentality.
Right.
Let's get rid of them a year before, rather than a year or two later.
Exactly.
And so I think that they made a few bad moves. Number one, they got rid of Wiseman.
Right.
He's a young player, size. You needed size.
Right.
Looney could get rebounds, but he's not a scorer. Wiseman could score.
Yeah.
He had size.
Yeah, he
could play defense.
Yeah.
You just had to kind of work him, let him mature into the NBA, mature his game.
Right.
And under that type of tutelage, that type of championship DNA, he could have been something. You send him to Detroit and he's balling out.
Yeah,
he's a double-double machine.
He is. And he's going to thrive on the Monty too, I think.
So you got that going on.
Right.
Then Jordan Poole was supposed to be the bridge between the new and the old. And I realized that they have said, Steve Kerr has said, Warrior fans feel that they don't have the success that they have without Draymond Green. That's all well and good. But you have to be concerned about the future. Unless you want to you win now, and then you have a long drought again. Yeah. Where you don't have success. You just kind of fade into the abyss. And that is the way it's going, because you have, if you keep your core, by them dealing Jordan Poole for Chris Paul, number one, Chris Paul, you cannot rely on him to play anything close to 50 games, if that. No. And if he plays that many games, you have to maintain and put him on a minutes restriction.
Right.
20, 30 minutes a game. You got to preserve him for the playoffs.
Yep.
And what do we know what does he do every playoff run? He looks good. Those hamstrings snap. At any given point, when they're looking good, he's looking like, oh man, the Chris Paul of old. This is the this is the New Orleans Chris Paul. This is those hamstrings say, hey, look, I got a surprise for you. So those hamstrings it's always an injury. Always. So I'm surprised that they got rid of their youth in Wiseman and Poole for someone like Chris Paul. Now, granted, the benefit of it is he knows how to handle an offense. Right. So now you have Clay, you have Steph off the ball. So now they're free to do whatever they want to do and get open. Chris Paul, knows how to. He is a traditional point guard. The problem is injury.
Right.
And if you can't depend on him to make that stretch run, then what good is he?
Right.
Poole, he was streaky. He had a bad or a down season last year. They wouldn't have won their last ring without him.
Right.
because he was pivotal then, and he fell off. But when he was a starter last season, he averaged 25 points.
Right.
So I'm surprised that they let that go.
Yeah.
You know, granted, they're about to go into paying him, you know, $130. So maybe they wanted to offload that. But that almost automatically, to me, means that they want to re-sign Draymond.
Right.
Unless there's a surprise where somehow Draymond, there was talk that he would wanted to be a Laker. Maybe that works out.
I heard that.
But that would be a shock to me. What do you say?
No, I think the thing for me, and you brought it out already in your take just now, is that it's off the ball play for Steph. Steph had to handle the ball a lot, particularly in the playoffs. You saw it in the Laker game, the Laker series, and he got tired. He really did. It was way too much ball handling. They never really truly had a point guard that can commandeer the offense like Chris Paul would eventually do for them. So I think that was significant. I think they gave that some thought. But again, it has no long-term value though, right? I mean, again, you talk about a guy who historically gets hurt right when you need him the most, right? Because you may not even need Chris Paul as much during the regular season. I mean, yeah, you need him, but you really get a guy like that to make impact in the playoffs, right?
But you got rid of someone who could preserve Steph with Jordan Poole and still keep that scoring going for what?
Yeah.
If you're missing it, if you're gonna say we're gonna put him in a capsule for the regular season, then you're wearing down Steph in the regular season.
No, I
agree.
Yeah.
You had Poole to take some of that off to keep Steph fresh.
Did, but I think, and we talked about it in previous shows. I think there's definitely either some animosity, something's broken within the relationship.
Poole's jaw.
Punch, right. Along with Poole's jaw, some other stuff has been fragmented.
His dignity, his manhood, all of that has been broken.
And I really think they just, since the punch, the whole season's been pretty much disrepaired for the most part. Now, they know how to play and they can win games, which they did, because they're champions and they know how to do that. But I think there was some underlying issues there, obviously, that compelled them to go ahead and say, you know what, we're going to move up Poole. Because Poole plays no defense, and he really had a bad playoff. Yeah, bad playoff. So he didn't make his case any good at all. I mean, he got his bread, but it's like, look, you know what? I mean, yeah, he got a bag. He got a bag for playing bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was horrible. But yeah, the move doesn't make sense to me. If they move on from Draymond and able to get some pieces back for him, then maybe this kind of makes sense. So the Warriors, we got to see it. They got a new GM too, so we got to see how it's going to turn out now, because Lakem isn't there running the show. You got the young kid now. That's I think the son or whoever it is. I think it's Mike Dunleavy Jr.
Yeah,
is it?
Mike Dunleavy Jr.
So June Jr.'s in there. So now we'll see what he's going to do. And I would think that they have, and knowing Steve Kerr and these guys, they're very calculating, right? They're going to have some chips down the line or some dominoes they're looking to knock over at some point after this move. And so we'll see. And tonight with the draft, that's what it's all about. Right? You're going to see where pieces are and where things happen. We could see some explosive trades tonight.
Well, Dame Lillard said if they get Scoop or Scooby, whoever his name is, he wants out.
Yeah.
He wants
or
veterans around him,
or
he wants out.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. And now, just
I don't blame him though.
All of the leverage from other teams or Portland in particular, they lose it. When a player says he wants out, so then their flexibility to try to get the best deal for themselves kind of goes out the window, because they know this person is not happy with how the direction the team's going in. And now it's kind of just like when a NFL player says, I only want to play for this team, this team, this team. Well, everybody else, no need to even pick up the phone, because it's a very limited audience or teams that can even negotiate. So I think that's going to be interesting. I think another move that was pretty questionable was the Marcus Smart.
Going to the Grizzlies. Yeah.
I think so. I will say this. I'm going to be on record today. Today is the 22nd?
Yes. Today is the 22nd, yes.
22nd of June.
Right.
It will not work. This is the long and short of why that won't work. Marcus Smart is an emotional player. He plays with his emotion. If you take an emotional player and you put him in a dysfunctional team, it will not work. I know that they are trying to. They got rid of Tyus Jones.
Yeah, Tyus Jones. Yeah,
which was a good point guard.
Yeah, I like him.
In the absence of what's his name?
Ja Morant. Yeah,
Ja Morant. Okay, so in Ja Morant's absence, Tyus Jones was a very good player.
Yeah, he was.
They got rid of him. They made the trade, and they pick up Marcus Smart, who was the best facilitator on the Celtics. But I think it just won't work. I just think now to Memphis's credit, they have the last 2 defensive players of the year. But I just think that won't work. The green hair, I mean, obviously he won't have the green hair anymore, but someone who needs to be in that situation, they need veteran leadership and someone who is level-headed. Someone who is emotionally charged with dysfunction. I just don't think it'll work. I think it's a bad trade. That's just my take.
Well, I think
we'll see if I'm right or wrong.
Well,
what do you say?
I don't think it's a bad trade in the sense of you have a defender, right? And Memphis is a good defensive team. And I think what they're trying to do is what we talked about earlier. I think they want to build and develop a culture of being a good defensive team, right? And so you bring in another good defender, right? Along with Brooks and along with obviously Jackson.
No, Brooks.
Not Brooks. The other kid.
With the arms.
Yeah, the arms. The abnormal looking triceps there. You know what I'm saying? But Bane. Right. So along with Bane and along obviously with Jackson, you have a structure now with Smart, who's
Steven Adams,
and then you got Adams who will be back, right? Mm-hmm. So now you're looking, they're going to be a stalwart defensively. Mm-hmm. But the thing is this too, I'm not upset at the trade. Though I like Tyus, he's a good backup, he was a good reserve. Obviously, he wasn't, he was a backup to Ja.
But he was good enough to be a starter. He
could. No, you're right. But if you get a Marcus,
look at Mikal Bridges.
I think Marcus Smart is an upgrade from Tyus. I think in a sense where you get he's a two-way player. He could shoot the three.
Tyus was a two-way player,
but he wasn't a defender like Smart. And he's not now Smart. You'll find there's a way in which you're going to get Smart in that starting lineup.
Do you think that Smart can really run an offense? There's a difference with being the best of the team and being good, right? So right. I say that to say, there was no one on the Celtics that really could facilitate the basketball as good as Marcus Smart, right?
Right.
But that doesn't mean he's good at it.
No. And I don't think they got him necessarily to run the offense. I think really what they brought him in there for was for 2 reasons, actually, in my opinion. Defense, and I know you talk about his immaturity as far as playing. Well, I would say you talk about his emotions. But Smart is a veteran. And I think he's good for them, for that young team, to pull them together and corral this young team and say, look, guys, y'all got to get your head in the game. You know what I mean? I think he's a good veteran player, got to bring some maturity to that locker room, get those guys more focused, and I think he can get them a little more grounded. And I think that's why they brought him in as well.
I don't think anybody that colors their hair green is going to bring any level of maturity. No. I could be wrong. And you don't judge a book by its color.
Right.
By its cover.
By its color or cover, right.
Right.
You know what
I'm saying? But if someone is dyeing their hair Celtic green.
Well, I mean, that's just showing pride for the team you're playing for. I mean, but that didn't take away from his maturity, right? Because I think in some ways, obviously, he was a good link because he was the 3rd best player on that team in Boston, right? When you really look at everything and the makeup of that team, Smart was their 3rd best player.
I agree with that. I disagree with that.
Who do you think was better than him?
I think White was better than him.
I think White improved and he showed development. But I don't think
when those headbands got the smaller those headbands got. The larger that forehead got, the better he played.
Well, and in the playoffs, he did. No, he
played
did
really well.
No, he did. But White he emerged, right? So I mean, he wasn't like.
So maybe they saw the need that they no longer needed,
and that very well. No, you're right, and that very well would be. And White plays pretty good defense too. So no, you're right. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But I think we're on the Memphis side of the house, though. I think Memphis benefits because I do still think Smart is an upgrade over Tyus. Tyus is a really good player, and he's going to start in Washington. And he's a really good player. But I do think Smart gives you a little bit more value. And I think he gives you the veteran presence that team badly needs. Because they're just, disgustingly immature.
So let's talk about the other side of that. Okay. I do think that the Celtics got better because they got Kristaps Porzingis. And I think that should be beneficial to them. They got size.
Okay.
He's a stretch center. He has defense. Now, the only problem is, how do you utilize him with Robert Williams, Horford? Can both of them play at the same time? Any two of them at a time? Or will they have to rotate amongst, whether they're going small, if they're trying to get some scoring? It definitely benefits them because now you have someone that the offense can run through.
Right.
Because Porzingis, he balled out this last season.
He did. And he stayed healthy for the most part.
He stayed healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, so when he first went to the Knicks, he balled out.
Yeah.
Then he was dealing with injuries. They shipped him out. And he was in Dallas for, enough time for, I don't know.
I don't know. Him and Luka just didn't.
They didn't get along.
They didn't get along.
So they rotated him out. He balled out in Washington.
He did.
And now he's with the Celtics. I think the Celtics got better.
Oh, definitely they did. No question.
So how is it that they can get better?
Right.
By adding him, but the Suns didn't get better?
Because number one,
I know the bench.
They got a bench still. But they still got
part
a bench.
Of it is
and they play defense.
I think part of it is kind of your hate for KD. I think part of it is it doesn't matter what they do. You're still. I think they.
There he goes with the KD hate. He thinks America. He thinks I have hate for KD.
He hates KD.
I mean, I don't hate KD.
He just doesn't like anything about him.
I don't like
him.
He
doesn't hate him.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's a superstar. First ballot. He's a superstar.
He's a great player.
He's not great. He's a superstar. KD is a superstar. Do we have to go through this again?
But we're not.
Do we have to go?
But nobody uses the whole great terminology and superstar. When you hear other people talk about it, other shows, it's interchangeable. Nobody puts it the way you do. No one
understands. Because know why? Because people casually use those terms way out of context. That's why. If we stop, I'm trying to put the ranking in proper context. First of all, we got to stop calling anybody great. Nobody is great. The only ones that was great was Russell, Kareem. You had Magic. Okay, you had Jordan. Those guys. I would even almost go as far as saying Tim Duncan even was great. But great has to transcend a lot of things. There's a lot of things you have done either for your organization and the game of basketball. Okay? So again, when we look at this, America, and again, you know that chart, America. You know that chart very well. That's exact.
They don't have to be
KD
ambassadors of the game.
Superstar.
He's a superstar.
That's all he is.
And arguably one of the best shooters, scorers we have ever seen.
We've seen a lot of great scores over the year, but he's the most efficient.
That's not accurate.
He's the most efficient. There was a lot of great scores throughout the history of the game, but KD, I will say, is the most efficient. Like, he doesn't need to shoot a lot in order to score a lot.
And I will say this:
I will give him that.
He is one of the most, and then we'll move on. Mm-hmm. He is one of the most seamless players the NBA has ever seen.
As far as his game.
Yeah. He can go to any. You can't say that about LeBron.
We can't say, but we're not talking about the game. We're talking about their overall. In other words, their overall.
His presence is felt and immediately. Once he comes to a team, he usually takes over as the best player. He usually is. He's usually the most efficient player.
Okay.
He's usually the best scorer.
Right.
So, and I don't think he really interrupts or messes up the flow of how he gets it. And I think that is a unique thing that we need to give him credit for.
I mean, we give him credit for that. No, I agree with that, but that don't make you great. In other words, great. You got to lead. First of all, again, he has not led any of his teams to a championship win.
All right.
Hasn't done that.
Who else we got, man?
All right. So who else we got? I think we covered everybody. I think we got everybody. I think we talked about Chris Paul, Porzingis.
We talked about Beal.
We talked about Poole and Smart and
Dame. So now Dame Lillard is talking about if they pick up Scoot. And we're looking at it right now.
Brandon Miller went number 2, so
no surprise there.
Yeah, so he went to Portland. So Portland now, I guess they.
He went to Portland.
He went to Portland. Yeah.
Oh, so it's
no. Portland's picking number 3. My bad. I'm sorry, America. Portland's on the
that's
clock.
What I'm saying. Scoot, and they're talking to Scoot to see.
Yeah, we'll see.
And so if Scoot goes there,
my fault.
Dame says he's looking to get out of there.
Right.
Because the team is, and this was we had predicted this months ago.
Yeah.
If you go back to the shows, we said Dame was capped.
Definitely
When he was
capped.
talking about there was
Definitely.
too much emphasis on championships.
Yeah.
And, staying true to the game and
Right.
all this stuff.
Right.
Meanwhile, he was fleecing Portland
Yep.
and getting contracts towards the end
Yep.
of those contracts that
Yep.
he was getting $63 million.
Yep.
What team can be put around you if one player is making $63 million?
Absolutely.
I mean, I realize that it's
Absolutely.
guaranteed money. I realize that the cap, you can do a lot with the cap.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't really get a competitive team if one star is making $63 million.
No, I agree.
So
I totally
now
agree.
all of a sudden, I don't know what got into him. Now championships and making the postseason and really pushing in the playoffs matters to him.
Right.
Maybe he watched the show. I don't know.
There we go.
But if that's the case, then obviously Portland is not the place for him. He's going to have to leave because Portland, if they have a choice, they may do this pick and pick this player
and they may trade him
specifically to get rid of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
like
he definitely has a value, right? But they unload that huge, salary, that huge contract. Other teams that are better or better positioned to utilize him now,
right?
Because he has a lot of value. Obviously,
right.
People would love to play, but how are they going to do it with that contract?
They can't.
That's going to be the question.
No, you're right. That is the question, and you're right. Dame is capped. I got no respect for the game. Dame is gaming all day long because it was like you just said it, D. It was all capped. All right. So the whole thing is now you're going to strong arm Portland into trading you, which they could have done a while ago. Okay.
Before you sign
the
new
all
contract.
these new contracts that's going to pay you out the last end of the year of his contract. I think we had looked at it, like $60-something million. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's on that. I mean, LeBron and them ain't even making that much. You know what I'm saying? And here's the problem, D. The league.
LeBron's the son, though.
If I'm
and so that's foolishness. Also, LeBron said, side note, that he's the son, right? SUN. Because when Mike Malone,
that was throwing cap. Yeah, I mean,
when
I'm
Mike
throwing
Malone said,
Malone,
I'm thinking about retiring.
Yeah.
And then
because he took shots at LeBron.
I was minding my business.
Right.
And I told you that when LeBron did that at the end, you got swept. Just go out like a man.
He did. He never said anything.
He started saying, I got a lot to think about. I got to think about my future.
That wasn't to Trump.
Of course it was.
Overshadow
of course it was.
Denver.
Of course it was.
But LeBron,
it was to be in the news cycle. What is LeBron going to do? Is this his last season as a Laker? That's what he did. So Mike Malone, little tongue-in-cheek, said, hey, listen, I may retire too. I won the championship. So LeBron, I was minding my business. I was in France for the last 6 weeks. You knew what was going on. I mean, you knew who won the championship.
Well, of course he did. Of course
Enjoy
he did.
your shine, but I'm the son.
Well, and it's true. But here's the truth.
It's not true.
It is true.
It's not true.
First of all, D. Mike Malone stands no chance, nor does his team come anywhere close to the level of status and stardom and accomplishment of LeBron James. Okay, let's just keep. I know they just won the championship.
We're not talking body of work. We're not talking body of work. We're talking here and now.
That's what we're saying because
what have
Mike
you done
Malone
lately?
has whined all through the playoffs. Nobody's talking about us. Nobody's giving us our respect. Nobody
Rightfully
cares.
so. Rightfully so.
Jokic is the first player to ever tie his shoe. The first player who ever had his shoe tied on the left side and scored 30 points.
When LeBron played against the Clippers, and he was looking to have his shoe cut off on the sideline after scoring 30 points in the first half, that's okay to talk about.
But D, LeBron is a whole different stratosphere. I mean, he's been the NBA for the last 20 years.
Okay.
So Mike Malone,
so he's going to get his respect.
But nobody's taking nothing away from them.
Why do you have
they were good.
Keep reeing up on respect? When you think about, he didn't do that. Didn't it get nauseating with Tom Brady? After, like, Tom, you're arguably the GOAT in the NFL.
Right.
7 Super Bowls.
Exactly.
But every time, I got to think about it. I'm retiring for 15 minutes and I'm coming back. That's nauseating to the league. The narcissism gets to a boil and it gets over the top. LeBron, you are one of 2 players to be in the GOAT conversation.
Right.
You can let another team shine. Let that team shine.
He
didn't.
But him, like Brady, like a lot of great players have done, when they've come out of a tough loss or a tough series and they're up in age or the end of their career, they might say things like that. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna think about it. The offseason's coming up.
What has he been saying
it
for
wasn't
the last
to throw shade at Denver.
What was LeBron saying for the last couple of years?
He wanted to play with his son.
So is all of that a lie?
No, it wasn't. But D, you gotta understand. D, not so America, so you know, D is a baller, okay? D is a really good basketball player.
I used to be.
So yeah, so I'm gonna say this and use D as an example. So because D was a really good basketball player, D, right? And you were, and I believe you still can ball. The reality is that you understand as a baller, as an athlete, when you lose a game and when you come through a whole mental kind of anguish and all of the investment you just put into a series and everything you've gone through, to the great ones, it does mean something, right? So they're going through they're trying to process the loss, and it's really emotional for them.
But
so maybe he had a minute,
with that.
But I don't think he intentionally did that to override Mike Malone, the whiner.
To our knowledge.
Okay, but why did he ask? Okay,
so let me just say this. To the public's knowledge, to all accounts, LeBron has not made a misstep his entire career. He has done everything right. I've read things where this 18-year-old started getting checks for $450,000 a week when he first started. I think when he signed a $90 million Nike contract straight out of high school.
Right.
He has not made any missteps. He married his high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
Has a beautiful family.
Yep.
A kid from Akron. I shouldn't be here. All of that stuff.
Okay.
Do you think that he's going to make a decision on his future fresh out of a shower after getting swept? That's why I think it is something to overshadow. LeBron doesn't.
Okay, so let me ask you this question.
His team doesn't work that way.
Why did Mike Malone have to? Okay, LeBron said, okay, you feel it was a calculating, intentional move on LeBron to say, I'm contemplating retirement to overshadow the sweep that his team fell into the hands of Denver. But then why does Mike Malone have to come back and then say what? Now, meanwhile, it was weeks ago, right? Now, Lakers are in the background. We're gone. The news of the Lakers has dwindled a little bit now. So if you're a Laker fan, you're just looking at what the Lakers are going to do for the whole season.
You brought up the Lakers twice on the show so far. So I don't think it dwindled. It didn't dwindle in your heart. Didn't our hearts burn? Didn't our hearts burn?
My heart only burned because I'm a Laker fan. So the Lakers are burning in my heart still, right? You know what I mean? But Mike Malone is petty. But at the end of the day, you got your victory. You got to do it again, bro. If you're gonna talk the talk, but you want to be that type of dude,
have to change
make sure that Jokic and them can do it again.
Mike Malone, you haven't won anything, but now they have won something,
and they won, and I give them lots of credit. Lots of credit.
They won convincingly.
They did. They won convincingly.
They only lost 4 games in the entire playoffs.
You're right.
So that's impressive.
No, that's very impressive, and I give them a lot of credit. And they are really, 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 really good team. No question about it.
And they have a bright future.
And they really do. And so that's what I'm saying. You got a lot going for you. Nobody's taking away from you. Like, why are you fighting? It's like, like Paul says in the Bible, just beating against the air. Just swinging and fighting ghosts. Nobody's there.
Right.
Nobody is fighting you, Mike Malone. Nobody's fighting Jokic and Jamal. Let me tell you something about that team. And the reason why I do like that team a lot, when you look at Jokic, and maybe because of his culture, right? When they won the championship, this dude, before he was celebrating with his teammates, he goes down the line trying to shake every Miami Heat player. I mean, like I ain't gonna lie, that thing just kind of brought chills to my body. Like, man, that's a good dude right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He ain't gloating.
I like that.
I love that. So I'm saying, like, Mike Malone needs to take a page out of Jokic's book and just be humble.
But that,
you're not Pat Riley.
Everybody can't do that.
You ain't Phil Jackson. Shut up. Like,
so wait, why does he have to be any of those coaches? Why can't he?
Why does he have to take shots at LeBron though? Why does he got to take a shot at the party of the parade? And LeBron is over in France with Victor, and he's all the way over there. Not even Mason. Nothing to do at all with the finals at all. And you bring him up in the championship parade.
He could have done that. He could have done that right after the game 4. He could have kind of faded into the off season and not mentioned anything. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, I I mean, it's still look. I still think Malone.
But because LeBron is great, and because he has such a body of work, he should be able to do whatever he wants.
I'm not saying he should do whatever he wants, but if LeBron, who for the most part has been pretty humble through his career. I mean, he's not a guy that's. I mean, he said to himself. He says, "I am the best, and I'm the king, and I'm the greatest player." And it's not. I mean, nothing wrong with him saying that.
He has a tattoo of the Chosen One across his shoulders.
Well, I mean, but
he has said,
and he's
after coming back, I know that I'm the greatest player.
Well, yeah, I mean,
coming back 3-1.
Coming back 3-1. Well, right. But is there anything wrong with him saying that?
No.
Okay, I'm saying.
But you can't be that great and not have the confidence that LeBron has.
Exactly.
So I say all that to say, with that confidence, with that degree of calculation, with that degree of pinpoint focus, with that degree of dedication, with that degree of sacrifice, you don't make any decision on your future fresh out of a shower.
I agree with your point on that, because LeBron is very, very level-headed, and he's stable in his thinking, and so, he's not a rash thinker like that. So, no, I agree with you there.
Because if that is true, he's unstable in all his ways. He's double-minded. And he's unstable in all his ways. Because you said you wanted to play with your son prior to the playoffs. Then when you get swept, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Like,
no, I feel you. No, I think you're right on that point. But I'll say this. As we were talking about Dame in that whole situation. As we saw Scoot got picked by the Blazers tonight. I think if I'm the Blazers, I'm building around this kid, whatever else I got.
Anthony,
and the other kid they
Simons.
got, Simon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, get rid of Dame. Get as many picks as you can, like Washington. Washington got 35,000 second rounders, son, from Phoenix, son.
Right.
They got picks all the way
they don't have no first rounders.
30-30, okay? So, right. so right, you're right, because they had no first rounders to give them. But because y'all got them all. So, I say like this, and that's a good thing, Dean. I say this, if Brooklyn drafts well, and they are able to build the culture that they need. I like Jacque Vaughn. Of course, there's some other Net fans I know. They're not big fans of Jacque Vaughn. I think because they didn't like the way he played guys in the playoffs and stuff. But I like him. I thought he did. He did throw a putty cat.
No, but given the circumstance where you lose two superstars in 2 days,
exactly, right,
you still gotta still balance.
And
the
Kyrie being coming from the firing of Nash, Kyrie getting suspended, then they get traded. I thought he did a tremendous job. He showed a lot of character.
I mean, I wanted Ime Udoka. For the record, I said that then.
You did.
I still, if I had my choice, beard and all, I would still want Ime Udoka.
No, you would. I would think so too. I mean, I think he's proven himself as a very good coach.
And I think with Houston, I think they're on to something.
No, they are. They
have young talent. Yeah. They have a coach with tenacity and a defense mindset.
Right.
You got scorers. I think their future is bright.
Good young core talent.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
like what they have. So no, I agree. So I mean, listen. The NBA is going to be really good. The offseason is always interesting. We're hearing rumors about Paul George getting traded now, and the Lakers are still contemplating some moves, still trying to get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, and we'll see.
I think they spent $30 to get the pick 40 tonight.
Yeah, well, that's a start.
All y'all got is
just a little start with Indiana.
I think y'all got $4 million. That's all you can do.
Yeah, that's it. Did we give them cash or they gave us cash? I didn't look at the whole terms of the deal.
I think you gave.
I think we gave them some cash. So, but I mean, that was the first little start. Say, look, good earnest a trade here. Mm-hmm. Now work with us with the big dog trade. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Let's get these boys away, because if we get a Buddy Hield or Miles Turner, I'm telling you now, it's going to be a problem.
One or both. Or
if we can get both, that's great. And only have to give up some picks and give up
what about DeMar DeRozan? Are you interested in DeMar DeRozan?
I was at one point. I don't know if I am now. I think DeMar's a little on the older side, but he can still ball. One of the great mid-range jump shooters in the game today. Him and Chris Paul and Booker.
So what is the priority for the Lakers? What do you think you guys?
We got to get a center. We need a center because
re-signing.
As far as Hachimura and Reeves. Those are two guys. Those are two guys.
So that's the priority.
That's the priority.
Okay.
You get those two guys backside, which the Lakers intend to do. Reeves said he wants to stay. They can match his offer, and so we're looking at maybe about $14 to $17 million range for what people are speculating
per year.
What it's coming with per year. And so, we got a nice little sneaker deal with, I don't know, with Kleenex or whoever the school, the sneaker people were. But anyway,
nobody's buying them.
Nobody's gonna buy them. But anyway, but shout out to you, Reeves. You did really well. You earned your bread. Get your bread, bro. I ain't mad at you. But again, I think if the Lakers, we got to get enough. We get a Miles Turner in there who plays D and can shoot the 3 as well. That moves AD to the 4 spot. That's what you get. Because if AD can get back to the 4 spot, I think that's when we got something. Having him at the 5 is a bit tough for AD, and I think that's why you see a little bit of that inconsistency because he just can't. He's not a 5. He's just not a 5. He's a 4. So we'll see. But listen, man, it's gonna be some
Brooklyn Nets. We got some moves to make.
Yeah,
we got a lot of draft capital. We got a lot of picks. We can package them to get some players.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if I know that Dame has been mentioned with Miami and what's the other team?
Who else did they say he was?
It was Miami and
heck, I can't remember now. I'm sorry, America. Joining brain farts here. We haven't.
I don't know if it was
in a minute.
I don't know if it was the Knicks, but it was Miami and another team in the East.
Yeah.
Okay. But I wouldn't be surprised if somehow, some way, because Brooklyn has so many picks and can package it, that Dame might make that move to Brooklyn. But we'll see. Milwaukee also.
Drew left. Well, Drew didn't leave. He's going to get signed.
But what's going to be interesting is Chris Middleton opted out.
I said Drew Holiday. I meant to say Chris Middleton. My fault. I meant to say Chris Middleton, not Drew Holiday.
Their team could change depending on what Brook Lopez does.
Yeah.
Depending on what Chris Middleton does.
I wouldn't mind getting Brook. Now, Brook, I wouldn't mind. If the Lakers can get Brook Lopez, I know he's old, but I think he can get him. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be really interesting. Lakers need shooting and someone to take some pressure off Bron. I agree with that.
No, I agree with that too. Yeah, shout out to whoever said that.
That was Dexter. What's up, man?
What's up, D?
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you stepping on.
I think
Lakers do need some more shooting. Yeah,
you need shooting.
No, we do. Well, you get Hield, right? So you get a Buddy Hield. There's your shooting, along with Miles Turner, who can also shoot from the 3 and play defense. He averaged 2 blocks a game. I mean, he can hit. He can hit the 3s. And so, but Hield definitely gives you that. Definitely spreads the floor. But yeah, we definitely need shooters. I agree with Dexter.
The allure of playing with the Lakers, such a story franchise, why would, in this time where the cap is going to change and teams are going to really be more frugal in their contract structure, why would someone take a pay cut or a minimum? I know maybe they want to get their rings, but that's usually towards an older player. Nobody wants to do that if they have an opportunity to get a big payday. So why would Miles Turner and Buddy Hield take a minimum to play? The Lakers don't have anything. So
no, they're still under contract, those guys. So we would take on their contracts, and then we could always work out a deal with them later on. But we'll at least get them for the year. So they're still under contract with Indiana. They're not free agents.
You guys are in win mode now, right?
Absolutely. I mean, LeBron is 66 years old. We got to win now. Got to win now. And I think somebody would do that. And like he said, take pressure off LeBron. To Dexter's point, I think if you can keep Schroeder, you're still gonna. I think what they're gonna do with D'Lo, they're gonna do a sign and trade perhaps with D'Lo, or we actually could still keep D'Lo at least up into the trade deadline in the middle of next season, which I kind of like better. Because here's the thing: I know D'Lo had a very, very rough conference final. Yes, shot 13% from 3. But D'Lo for the season shot 40% from 3. Okay?
Yeah,
he's still a very
LeBron
good.
At one point missed 24th quarter threes.
Nobody's
talking about moving. I'm just
you know what? See
America. But he did. He did. But
you could be mad for LeBron for taking those shots, because I don't understand why he was even attempting those shots. But missing those shots, no one's going to get upset with LeBron, because at the end of the day, what he did offset still his bad decision to shoot the 3, right? Because LeBron still balled out, and he's doing a lot more than what he was expected to do at 38 or 39 years old. So, we got to get some more pressure on him. Schroeder, D'Lo, I still think you should I think it wouldn't be bad to keep those guys back. And I'll be honest with you, I really wouldn't even have a problem running it back with this same team, at least until the trade deadline. Because if this team gets a camp, they can work out in the summer and build their chemistry. I think you got something. They did a lot with only coming in halfway in the season. So, you get those guys running back again and get more chemistry. I don't know.
The sky's the limit.
Listen. You know what?
Right.
Listen. All right.
Exactly.
All I know is the Suns got 4 players. That's it. That's all they got. Okay. Fans, anybody in the first 3 rows who could play, you're welcome. That's it.
Right.
That's it. So,
Bobble, they have a KD bobblehead night, and you can come in and play for 6 minutes.
Come play 6. That's all we get. That's all you got to give us. Just give us 6 minutes. That's all we need. Well, they'll give you a 40-point cushion because got 3 scores. It's going to score a lot of points. So that's it. But they got no bench. But we'll see.
But there's time. There's still time.
There's still time. Teams are still outfitting their team. So yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward.
I think the shift in power, you would have to think, because Denver was. The way they played was such a dominating performance.
Right.
But there is not going to be the definitive players. Remember, Kyrie still out there.
Yeah.
You got James Harden that may opt out. I think he has till July 28th.
Right.
Or something like that to opt out.
Right.
You got what is the process in Philly? What's going on with that? There's going to be
that's the team Dame too. Where they were saying Dame.
That's what it is. Philly
and
Miami. Those are the teams.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. There's been coaching changes. There is it could be really interesting how it all works out.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, can they pay all of those players? Can you pay? I mean, I guess they can.
That's what everybody is trying to do. That's why I say these GMs and owners are making big mistakes. You keep putting all these superstars together and you don't have a bench. And benches and defense wins games. The 2-point shot is coming back, y'all. I'm trying to tell everybody. Nobody wants to hear me because everybody wanted to be Steph and Clay. You're not. Those guys come once. They're like Halley's Comet. They're only going to come once every 50 years.
It's 77
years. 77 years? Okay,
yeah,
well, then that's even more to my point.
But
every 77 years.
But I will say
you're going to see shooters like that.
One championship removed from the 3 being important, and now it's obsolete. I disagree with that.
What are you talking about? What championship?
This championship was not based on 3-point shooting. But the year before it was. So how are we 1 year away from it, and now it's no longer...
Because only one team is mastering it because they got, again, as I just said, unprecedented shooters in Clay and Steph. So you're not Golden State. So Golden State was able to have a great dynasty with 2 of the greatest, most prolific shooters that ever walked the earth. That's it. Not everybody has that. I don't care. So you can't build a team the way you saw Golden State build their team. You don't have that personnel. You ain't got a Steph Curry, who is actually great, by the way. You don't have a Steph Curry. So the truth of the matter is you gotta only he's great. He's great. Not his man. Now he let his man come ride with him, the superstar, you know what I'm saying, and get 2 chips, and you know what I'm saying, and defer to him. He got 2 at the final MVP twice. But that's it. Since then he struggled again. And he's gonna struggle some more. No rings for KD. You know why? Because KD's got no bench. No bench. You can't win without a bench. And KD still hasn't learned his lesson yet. But he feels if he get more shooters and more players to come. Phoenix is done. Listen, big 2s defense. That's what you need. That's what's gonna win. So that's it.
That's right. Well, listen, we will see what happens. The draft is going on as we speak. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Yep. I know so far there's been some big moves. And I can only imagine after certain, times where teams have to make decisions, players opting in or opting out.
Right.
Montrezl Harrell opted out. Like, Montrezl, take that $2.6 million.
Yeah, you better take that.
You better keep that, man. You better keep that.
Just ride the
But he opted out.
Yeah.
So what makes you think that somebody would? Why is somebody going to take a pay cut if players that you think are just marginal players are still opting
and a guy,
out?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's see what the people are saying out there.
The West is getting younger and faster. Look at Sacramento, Denver, Memphis. Yeah. Just picked up Marcus Smart. It's getting tough. LeBron has to win now. You're absolutely right.
I agree.
You're absolutely right.
Totally right about that.
That's why they're going to have to, make some moves. But the problem is that they are money. Their money's tight.
Well, the money's tight. We really don't have a lot.
And
you
don't have
draft. No.
Now you got what? 2029 first round, right?
Yeah.
Because you got rid of the 2027 first round draft pick.
That's right.
And so you have the 2029. I don't know if it's protected or not, but that's what you have. And maybe I just think at this point you're going to have to put a team together that players don't mind playing for cheap. Now, I thought, believe it or not, I was surprised. I thought Chris Paul would have been a perfect fit because he would have been cheap.
I wouldn't mind having Chris Paul.
And I thought that would have been.
I thought that would have made sense. Yeah.
Someone to facilitate.
Right.
A veteran. LeBron likes to play with veterans, but
but the only thing is, again, you got to give up some picks, and that's the thing. And I think the Lakers don't really want to give up that many picks. Like, I think for us, it's got to be somewhat of a little bit of a splash. Now, Chris Paul, I think, would have been a nice addition. Ball handler, keeps LeBron off the ball. But you kind of got Reeves that can kind of do a little bit of that stuff now, too, right? I mean, I'm not saying he's Chris Paul.
So Reeves,
don't get me wrong,
this is
but
the
I'm
thing.
saying
Reeves looked good.
Yeah.
But I need to see that a little bit more.
Reeves was doing that before the playoffs started. But see, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people wasn't watching the Lakers.
So he was doing it
yes, he was.
this season, right?
This season, yes.
Okay,
Reeves
so
was
I need another season.
I need another season. A new season.
I need a new season. I need Reeves to do that consistently.
He can.
I'm not saying
that's
he can.
What his value up.
I'm not arguing that he can or cannot. I'm just saying that we've seen how Jordan Poole looked their championship season. I'm just bringing it as an example. Jordan Poole looked really, really good.
Yeah, he did.
And then he had a precipitous fall this playoff. So now
Reeves didn't get punched in the jaw. So that
the punch.
One,
I get that.
Nobody's beating him up.
But Reeves also has to get a check. Let's see how he plays. People play different when they get a check.
And I agree with you.
So once people can play and ball out, and when that check comes and they smelling themselves, and he has that shoe line where 3 people are buying the shoes, he may not play with the same hunger and fervor.
I totally agree with you there. I totally agree because you can get a little complacent once you get the bag.
Being in LA, everybody.
But I think that's why
everybody can play with LeBron, right? Right. You can shine because the shine is not on you.
Right.
You are a ancillary piece.
Well, and that's all he is.
You can look better.
I'm not looking for him
but
to be a
take that hedge away. Take the hedge away. You got all the answers. Let's see you play like that on another team.
But that's every role player, right? I mean, you take away the head from any role player, they're not going to be where they are. Take the hedge away from Paul. You remove Jokic and Murray. What is Michael Porter Jr. going to be, or Aaron Gordon? You know what I'm saying? Or KCP or Brown. Those guys ain't going to be anything without Jokic or Murray. So, I mean, AD.
Bruce Brown is a good player.
But Bruce Brown is not he ain't carrying nobody.
No, I didn't say he was carrying.
It's just like Reeves is not going to do that. Reeves ain't going to, Reeves is not going to lead us into a championship ring. But Reeves is a good enough player. But to your point, I think he gives you already what Chris Paul would have gave you anyway. So you don't need to give up anything for that to get Chris Paul. Because you'd have to give Washington a lot of picks. And they would have want some picks for that. So I just think, that the Lakers need a splash.
Now, Chris Paul could have played hardball and said, I don't want to play for anybody else. And maybe they could have settled, bought him out, and then he could go anywhere.
Yeah. I think there was some complexities with his contract, though. I think that's what made it, because
I know
any team
Phoenix couldn't get him back with a buy. They couldn't release him and then get him back if he,
Well, they would have to pick up some of his salary because the way his contract was structured.
$15 million. I think he was supposed to get 30, but then now he 15.8 was guaranteed.
Correct.
15.5 something.
So the guarantee, that's it. Thank you for saying that. So the guaranteed portion of his contract on the trade, the team, it would be either Phoenix that they would have to split the $15 million that's left as guaranteed.
Got it.
Whatever's guaranteed, then that's what they would have to pick up and split. So there was some interesting dynamics there with his contract, but no, I think who made that? Who made that comment, by the way?
Dexter again.
That was Dex. All right, yeah. Dex, man. Appreciate you jumping in, talking that Lakers stuff, man, in Western Conference. So that's what's up.
Yeah. Well, Lakers stuff. Last but not least.
Yeah.
Let's quickly talk about Skip and Shannon.
Skip and Shannon, y'all.
So we predicted that Shannon's days were numbered, right?
Creative with a reminder.
Based off the fact that repeatedly Skip had been really disrespectful to Shannon, questioning his career, questioning, comparing and comparing him to Tom Brady and Tom Brady's career, even though they play 2 different positions, and one doesn't allow you to have the longevity of a quarterback because the rules have been skewed in a way that it prolongs the quarterback's career, as opposed to players who are making contact on basically every play.
Facts.
So that kind of came to a boil. I think two particular incidents that kind of led to the separation, and the first one was when Skip had made a reference to the fact that Tom Brady could play till he was 45 and your body made you quit at 35. And was saying that he said that he was jealous of Tom Brady's career.
Right.
And so that was a huge blow up on Undisputed. So that was the first one. The second one, and I'm not sure if I'm doing them in the right order. The second one was the Damar Hamlin. When Skip was really reckless with his tweets. Yeah. This guy's laying lifeless on the field, and Skip is tweeting, how are we still going to maintain this playoff scenario if this guy is dead? Like, basically that's what he was saying. Yeah. Now, people are performing, life-saving measures on this guy, and Skip was as callous as anybody could imagine. Like, I get it that we all feel, we're fans of the game, fanatical at times, and we want what we want. But when things that are bigger than basketball, bigger than football, when it's life, when it's other things, that takes precedence. And I think that at that point, the next day, Shannon didn't show up. He kind of let Skip, hey, you eat that. You made that decision. You made that decision to tweet that. You have to now live with that.
Right.
And I think it was those two incidents, along with other times, because Skip has been, they worked together for 7 years, but I think he was disrespectful a lot of times. And a lot of it had to do with Tom Brady, because he adores Tom Brady. Tom Brady can do no wrong. Michael Jordan can do no wrong. And Shannon, just like he loves LeBron, and most times LeBron can do no wrong, I think anytime he made references to when Tom Brady, you've seen the difference in Tom Brady's career as the ability to do more with less started to decline. Yeah. You've seen that, like, Shannon called it like he saw it. Right. And Skip didn't like that. Skip didn't care for that. So I think that was where they knocked heads based on their takes on it. Not to mention the fact that Tom Brady signed a lucrative deal with Fox Sports 1 to be there, and I don't know what he would be doing, but it was $350 million. So I don't know if Skip was trying to make nice with him and be his, I don't know, one of his top fans, but that created some dissension, and Skip and Shannon parted ways. Now I'm hearing that Shannon Sharp, Pat McAfee went to ESPN. I'm hearing that, and it's been reported that Shannon Sharp, I think it's one of the betting sites.
Yeah, the betting sites. Not FanDuel. Is it
FanDuel?
Yeah,
FanDuel might be looking to slide him in, and of course his podcast, which is widely successful, Club Shay Shay. Right. So he might be able to slide into that slot that Pat McAfee vacated. Right. Pat McAfee was making $30 million a year.
Yeah.
So if Shannon slides into that, number one, he'll be making way more than Skip. He'll have the exposure, and hopefully they'll allow him to keep the platform the way he has with Club Shay Shay, where they talk freely. It's sports, it's culture. He's talking with A-list celebrities, actors, actresses, you name it. And, of course, obviously, athletes and all of that stuff. So I think it's going to be really interesting, but I'm not surprised it happened. What do you say?
No, I agree with you totally on that. And I think it's unfortunate. You could clearly see from the two episodes you just brought up that there was some dissension there and some, again, underlying issues between them two from that episode, from both those incidents within itself. I like Shannon. I like Shannon. I think Shannon is good. I don't think, in my opinion, it's just my POV, my point of view on Shannon. I don't think he is this enormous talent like everybody else thinks, but I do think he's good. How he holds his own, it'll be interesting to see. Club Shay Shay is a good podcast. It is. It's a good podcast. You know what I'm trying to say? But I think Shannon brings a different kind of perspective and mood to what it is that he does. Obviously, he's very conscious I think
at
times. And then sometimes, Shannon can kind of like go the other way and he dumbs down and he kind of like he almost denigrates himself to a degree. You know what I mean?
But that could be the platform. That could be Fox Sports 1. That could be that within the parameters. He might be coloring in the lines.
It could be.
Club Shay Shay is very different. That formatting is very different.
Yeah, of course.
So he has the liberty and the freedom to speak as he wants.
Exactly.
He's the proprietor of that. So maybe he can.
Right.
It's different.
No, it's different. No, you're right. And he has to move differently on both platforms because of, like you said, the level of cachet he carries from one platform to another. What he has in Club Shay Shay, I clearly doesn't have it for this one. And Skip obviously is the big dog there. You know what I'm saying? Like Stephen A would be at ESPN. So it is what it is in that sense. But I like the fact that Shannon's going to move on. He's going to get crazily paid no matter where he goes. Yeah. So that's going to be
it's going to be a big pay.
I don't think he should limit himself, though. I think if he does whatever, if it's FanDuel, he got the podcast, he's going to put in the work. I think, and even Stephen A. Smith already said, if he wants to come on the show and debate on the show
terrible
as a guest,
idea.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
I think it's a horrible idea.
Why would you think that's a horrible idea?
Horrible.
As a contributor now, not because Stephen A. don't want nobody.
So what is he going to be like?
Like how Michael Irvin came in once a week. You got Mad Dog who comes in once a week. I think that between him and Stephen A,
it would be
I think that would be awesome.
What is he going to be? What's the dude that comes in with the beard? He's going to be.
You talking about Perk?
Yeah, he's going to be like a Perk.
Nah, Perk. Perk. Yeah, well,
he doesn't need to be a contributor.
I think that would be awesome.
He has the
along
ability.
With his other shows. But I'm saying, along with his other platform, like that can't be his only thing. In other words, he got FanDuel, whatever he's going to do, he's do.
But he has to build his own brand.
Build it
separately.
Mad Dog is the most widely recognized.
But he has that separate from
and that's what I'm saying.
So
Shannon should do
right. But Shannon Sharpe is synonymous with Undisputed. He needs time to build and nurture his own brand outside of Club Shay Shay. And then you can.
No, I'm gonna tell you why.
You can moonlight.
I'm gonna tell you why.
After that.
Why.
I think he needs to stay focused.
Because Shannon already has enough cachet to where he's already highly coveted by everybody, right? So he building a brand. His brand is already technically built already, right? To a degree where everyone is waiting to see the next best thing, right?
Yeah,
now,
but
I'm not saying
they also skip. They're used to skip.
They skip.
They need Shannon to separate himself.
So no, he can, and he can do that to a degree to which he's already done to some measure with Club Shay Shay. He has another platform. If he builds another sports show, whatever, podcast or something else, he's going to do whatever along with Club Shay Shay, right? He has that cachet. Then you go to another audience with ESPN, where which is the highest rated sports show of all, right now out of all of them. If he gets on there and debate with Stephen A once a week, that level of audience that's going to bring to come back to whatever he's building over here, that's a win-win situation, man. Because it's not like he's a budding star that's got to build himself up. He already has a platform. I mean, FS1 and Undisputed was already a platform. So he has that, and he's going to build out what he's building. But you also extend yourself over there to ESPN one day a week and debate with Skip. Debate with Stephen A and them. Come on, I think that would be phenomenal for his career. No. I'm telling you, D.
I couldn't do it.
The ratings that he would get.
I couldn't
the
do
exposure
I can
that
barely
he would get.
listen to Stephen A and Mad Dog because when they start,
that's two New Yorkers there. That's too loud.
No, it's not New Yorkers. It's a lot of
but I love it, though.
gibberish.
You don't like.
Whenever I tune in, which is not often. Now, obviously, I'm like I said, Undisputed is dead to me. It's dead to me. I'm no longer.
But they're not showing on the 28th, right, or something like that.
I don't know. They're dead to me. After that, but whenever I tune into Mad Dog, and I have to set the subtitles. Because I don't understand what they're saying other than that. I have to read.
What do you mean you don't understand? Oh, what they're talking out there.
Everybody is trying to talk fast. Everybody is trying to, be a fast historian of sports.
But that's Mad Dog, though. But see,
now both of them are doing it. But when both of them, I think it's too much. And so sometimes Shannon can get thick-tongued, pause. Yeah. And I think that him and Skip not Skip, him and Stephen A, one fast and one thick tongue, nah, I can't do it. Sorry, can't do it.
I don't know. I think they would.
I want winners. I can't do it.
I think
can't do it. It's too much. Yeah, nah, I couldn't do it.
I don't know. I think it would be a good mix, though. I do.
Now, I'm
once
okay,
a week, not every day.
I'm okay
obviously.
with Michael Irvin, right? Because Michael Irvin can sweat. He sweats.
But but you know what?
But
Shannon
that's
will give
okay.
you that. Because I tell you the truth, ESPN is going to give him a whole lot more liberty than what FS1 gave, right? Because Skip is more, and that was nothing too with the show.
He's controlling.
Skip is very controlling. You had nobody else on that show. Like, there's no variety. There was no variety on the show. So now I don't know what they're going to do, and who's going to replace Shannon is going to be interesting
I think
to see too.
they're saying that, he's scouting. Now, we've heard Emmanuel Acho. What's his
Now, Acho doesn't need to do that show. I don't think so.
He doesn't.
No.
What's his name? The running back.
He's horrible.
He definitely shouldn't do it.
No. You talking about the Eagles from the
Yeah.
No.
Shady McCoy.
Yeah, no. McCoy
hated it.
He's an Eagle.
No, Shady McCoy.
Trash.
No. They talking about Joy. No.
Go back with Skip. Nah.
Because then he's just going to dominate the show. He needs somebody that's.
But they have a good chemistry because she speaks very highly of him. She talked about him a couple days ago in the whole thing, and she gives Skip a lot of credit. And as Shannon and even Stephen A. has, they a lot of them owe their careers to Skip, and they have a lot of deference for him. So they consider him a friend.
When you put your head on the pillow, just know I gave everything. That was I didn't like it. I didn't like.
You didn't like the way he exited out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
he never said nothing about Skip though. He didn't even.
What lets you know? Now I've seen interviews with Shannon since he left, and he mentioned, without saying, that the respect was lost, and once the respect was lost, they needed to go. Like it was kind of the writing was on the wall.
But that's what he alluded to in an interview.
He didn't right.
Okay.
He didn't badmouth him, but at the same time, he was saying there were some things that. What did he say? Creatively, we didn't see eye to eye, and then there were some things that kind of the respect was lost, and so of course there are times when you outgrow, because Skip is a journalist, and he might be looking at him, hey, you're a jock that I get. Whenever someone feels like they gave you they gave something to you and you didn't earn it, although your career and all of the accolades and the things that you have done put you in that position.
Yeah.
That's when you have to move on.
Yeah, you have to.
Just
no question about it. I agree.
It is what it is. And I think it's going to be Shannon's going to be in a good position.
Oh, Shannon's going to be. He's going to land on his feet, no question.
Yeah. Any way you cut it, whether it's successful or not, he's going to get a lucrative deal. And hopefully he's working and kind of formatting how the structure of his show is going to be.
Right.
And maybe you're right. Maybe he goes but I think he's done enough. And one last thing, I didn't like the whole introduction or the way that Shannon or Stephen A. was like, if you need me. I didn't no, he don't need you. He can do this on his own, and he can do some of the same structure that you have. Just duplicate it. You can have a rotation. Now imagine if he reached out to Ray Lewis, and we want to send our condolences to Ray Lewis' son. But what if he had he has cachet, as you mentioned? Mm-hmm. What if you got Ray Lewis to now come on your show? What if you had what's the dude that he played with in Baltimore? That was
Suggs?
No, not Suggs.
Ed Reed?
Ed Reed.
Okay.
You could pick different players, Hall of Fame players.
He could do that.
He could do it.
I definitely think he can do that.
He could do it.
Absolutely.
Richard Sherman would be. Someone mentioned Robert Matthews. Richard Sherman could be a good replacement.
What's up, Robert?
Yeah.
Richard Sherman, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard Sherman. Now, Richard Sherman's good. He articulates well. He definitely got a lot to say. Very opinionated. So, because you got to be opinionated to be on these shows. So, yeah, I think that's a good point.
And Dexter mentioned this. Something we didn't. Bron is a lot. A lot of these guys feel that LeBron's the GOAT, so they will jump at the opportunity to play with him.
Yeah,
it's crazy, but some guys would take a pay cut to play.
They would
on the team with
Sure, they would, because that's at least a conference final. You see what LeBron did with the Lakers with that team he had.
2-10.
Yeah. No,
kid from Akron.
Listen, kid from Akron. That's it.
Not supposed to be here.
Not supposed to be here. Not supposed to be in the Western Conference
Finals, man. Let's get out of here. Let's close the
show.
show.
He's a Laker hater, man.
I'm not
he's
a Laker hater.
And he's a LeBron hater. You
I'm
talking
not
about me with KD? He hates LeBron.
I do not.
He hates him.
I do not. I just don't want
he
the
think
drama.
everything LeBron does is all about his new biopic that's coming out. Okay,
it is,
and everything is calculated, and everything is all about acting, and LeBron is over exaggerating everything because he just hate on his greatness. You know what I'm saying? That's all. But he's great, and KD is a superstar. And KD would never be on the level of LeBron James.
So, shout out
to the Lakers, though. But go ahead.
Infinite Audio for the music.
What's up?
Shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production.
Yes.
And I think, please, everyone, like, share, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. Thank you for all the comments. Thanks for everyone.
Man. Thanks for y'all coming through.
Please watch it
Appreciate
again. Repeat, share. This has been a great season 1.
Great season 1, man. Yo,
This is concluding season 1. What a great time we had.
Listen, man.
Listen, we know this is not the last you'll hear from us. Season 2 starting soon.
Yes.
But keep in mind, we got a lot of playoffs. We got draft. We have big moves.
Big moves.
And then, of course, football season.
And D, do me a little favor. Wait, just slide a little to that side some, and I'm going to come right there. And you see that America right there in the middle? Get ready, because that's coming right there. See that? That's coming right there. Them Cowboys.
And you know what? It's
coming.
Really
so
quick.
Get ready. Season 2 is going to be fire. It's going to be fire.
I think it was.
Get ready for October when we see these 49ers. Yeah, go ahead.
Colin Cowherd mentioned that
I like Colin Cowherd.
Of all of the teams, right?
Best personality.
The Cowboys.
Cowboys what?
Have only since 2000
done what?
Only had 4 playoff wins.
That's okay, but we worth $8 billion.
See, that's the problem.
And we're still America's team.
There we go.
There are fans in the caves of Afghanistan, in the hills of Russia. You'll find a Cowboys fan. It don't matter. Well, so what? And
you know why? Because after the playoffs, they ship all of the playoffs champion. They ship it to those out of Mongolia. They ship it so people just pick it up. It's free. So they're not paying for it.
No,
they're picking it up. They found it in a cave, and it's a Romo jersey. So that's why you can go to Mongolia. You can go to a cave. You can go to
But those jerseys sell well over there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not sell. Either they find them, they find free, but they won't find a 49er jersey.
No, because
anywhere.
There's still people are wearing them, and their team is still relevant. So no one's giving up those jerseys.
Nobody draws ratings like the Dodgers. That's why Skip, Ip, Nip, Stephen A, B, and C, okay, Shannon, okay, it don't matter. All these guys are going to talk about the Cowboys because they know that's going to bring
it's
them
a
ratings.
car wreck. That's why.
Because it's going to bring them ratings.
They like to see a
that's
team.
That's what it is.
But when you know what it boils down to, and then we can end the show.
Okay, go ahead.
Very simple. Pride comes before the fall.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
It comes before destruction. So
see, he's going to pick a scripture. I can't argue with the
can't
word.
Argue with this.
I can't argue with the word.
Cowboy fans are delusional to think that this is our year.
I don't think we're going to the Super Bowl this year. No, we're not.
And so what happens is everybody's focus then focuses on the Cowboys' demise so that we can say. Now, there are certain fan bases that, hey, listen, they lose and win gracefully. 49er fans, let's just say.
Let me say,
we win and lose gracefully. Cowboy fans,
are the 49ers
Eagle fans.
Do you think the 49ers going to win the Super Bowl this year?
I think that at minimum, we're going to NFC Championship.
All right, so we'll be there with the Cowboys, and you'll see us in the NFC Championship. That's why I hope the Cowboys will end up.
But I'm not saying the last time y'all were there?
That's how what? Last time we was there?
Am I talking about my uncle? Is my uncle on this show?
1995. But y'all been there. But D, listen, the 49ers have not won a Super Bowl since 1994. So their drought has been longer than the Cowboys.
We
won in 95.
Relevant,
being there,
it is better to have loved and have lost than not to have loved it all.
You know what?
As I always say, we gotta end the show.
I gotta get my rhythm back again. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
I'm out of rhythm. I'm out of rhythm.
Yes.
Yeah, D stays in rhythm a lot. I'm out of rhythm.
He's getting roasted in the last 5 minutes of the show.
So I'm gonna let it go.
Once again, thank you. Like, share, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube page.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Season 1 in the books.
In the books.
Peace.
Peace.